Hey, what's up guys, Houston here. And for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's always supporting me, salute. And for my Patreons, double salute. Now, today's video is very interesting because we're going to be talking about a profitable Turo business with bad credit. And I know a lot of you all seeing on YouTube about people talking about do Turo, right? But they're not really digging in and actually showing you some of the strategies. So we're going to be talking about some of the car hack strategies that's going to really help you up your game. Plus, I'm going to show you a way that you possibly can get up to $8,000 in free money to get that next car for your Turo, okay? So first things first. If you're going to be starting a business, any type of business, I always tell people the number one thing you have to do is set up the business. All right. Now here's the thing about this. It's it's the whole purpose of setting up the business is so that you can leverage the business and you're not always relying on your personal credit, because a lot of people that's on Turo platform, they're going and they're getting 3 and 4 cars under their social security number, right? And here's the thing about it. Every business has a cyclical position, right? And you're gonna have some slow moments. Now here's the problem. If you have those high-end cars, okay, and you don't have any income coming in, and you're still responsible for that car payment. So you're taking chances of not only hurting your credit, but also losing the car, right? So this is the reason why you want to set up the business properly, because one, it's going to minimize your liability. Number two, it's going to minimize your taxes. Number three, you'll be able to leverage your bank statements and financial statements to actually be able to go get more money, right? So that's the reason you want to set up the business, all right? Now, in terms of talking about what type of cars to do with Turo. So they talk about the best cars, right? Now, from what I've been understanding and a lot of the data, they have Jeeps. Jeeps is like one of their top vehicles, right? So not only Jeeps, then you have the BMW 3 Series, then you have the Benz CLA, right? So these are some of the top, and of course you have your Chevy and your Dodge Challengers and so on, right? So that being said, those are like some of your top cars and stuff. And of course with the luxury line, again, continuing on, people are trying to like the Tesla, right? Now here's something that I want to share with you all that me and a business associate of mine was talking about, and it's called the car hack, okay? Especially with Turo. And a lot of people don't even know this. They probably never even experienced this, but in a previous video I briefly talked about it. So I'm going to share that car hack with you because this is interesting. Here's the car hack. With the car hack, what it is, you want to be able to see if you can find cars with equity in them. And the best way for you to find cars with equity in them, meaning that the car has been undervalued, right? And so the best way to be able to do that is to find private sellers, right? So with your private sellers, they may be military deployed. Unfortunately, you may have family members that have passed on, that had cars that barely used them or whatever, especially like your elderly or something like that. You have your classified, you have your internet, you have your eBay, right? But the main point is being able to go after your private sellers, all right? Now, again, another place, if you're able to get somebody, is the auto auction. This is very important. This is very important, especially with this car hack. The reason is, if you're able to, better yet, let me share a story with you. Okay? So, as I was talking about in a previous video, one of my business associates, he found a private seller that needed a lot of cash right away, right? And he was willing, he had his car paid off, but again, he just wanted the cash right away. He didn't want to wait around or whatever. So what happened was, he had a Cadillac Escalade. So my business associate approached him. The Cadillac Escalade is pretty up there, $60,000, $70,000. So he approached him, hey, I'll give you $35,000 cash. Okay? So he gave him the $35,000 cash. Now he has the Escalade. So now he has the Escalade. He can take that Escalade and get a title loan against up to 50% of the value of the car. Now he still holds the title to the car. He still has the car. So he'll put the car on Turo. Now I want you all to stick with me and pay attention to what I'm saying. Alright, he's going to put the car on Turo, renting it out on Turo. And there's another added factor into that, and I'll tell you that in a minute. But he puts the car on Turo still. Then the money that they loan him, he goes and he buys another vehicle, right? And so he buys the other vehicle. Now he has multiple cars on Turo and renting them out, so they're actually paying back the loan, plus he's making profits from it. So he has the vehicle plus a loan that's buying another car and the profits from it. Now, all the profits, again, this is the reason I tell you all, you want to set up the business. And if you don't understand how to properly set up the business to take advantage of these strategies, click the link below and check out Three-Way Funding, set up a consultation. But here's the thing about it. Now, with revenue coming into the business, paid to the business, he's able to take those financial statements and bank statements, even if he has a bankruptcy. Do you hear what I'm saying? Even if he has a bankruptcy, he's able to take those documents, go to third-party lenders, and borrow money against the business. Do you all understand what I just told you? He had a lot of cash. He bought a vehicle that had a lot of equity in it. Okay? He borrowed the equity out of the vehicle, bought another vehicle, put it on Turo. So now 2 cars on Turo. Now here's the thing again. Revenue steady coming into the business. If he has bad credit, he can still take the financial statements and bank statements to another lender. As a matter of fact, not just one lender, to multiple lenders, and they'll loan him money off of the bank statements and financial statements. This is how you operate business. This is the game. This is why you hear a lot of people, they talk about business, they talk about business credit, but they don't know how to explain the strategy of leverage. And that's why Three-Way Funding is here, because we're actually explaining this to you. And if I'm doing a good job, can I get a thumbs up? And please share and comment. Let me know, do you agree with what I'm saying? Because this is actually happening, and most people are not aware of it. That's the reason I say in my thumbnail that this is better than real estate. Because again, with real estate, yeah, you have to build it up, take the equity out, and then you can go get it. But here, you're constantly recycling money and profiting from it to build a bigger business, right? So that's the reason that I'm telling you guys, it's focus on the strategy. Set the business up, focus on the strategy to make sure that you're going to maximize the business to its fullest potential. So that's the car hack that you guys need to know. Now, in terms of let's talking about Turo, here's some things that some people are not aware of. Everybody's saying, go get on Turo, go get on Turo. Well, here's the thing about it. A lot of people don't know that Turo can go anywhere from 15 up to 40% in fees. Okay? And that's for their insurance, as well as you advertising on their platform. Okay? They charge you those fees. Now, in terms of how do you reduce these fees on Turo, here's one thing that you can do. Again, a lot of people don't talk about that. If you was going to do Turo, you definitely should consider this. In order to keep more money in your pocket, what you need to do, you need to get commercial insurance. And so why you want to do that, again, so you can keep more money in your business instead of paying it to Turo. And of course, commercial insurance under your business is a tax write-off. So that's the reason that you want to leverage this, because to you, just like them, now that's something free to you. That's a free expense to you, right? Because now it helps you reduce your taxes. So that's the reason you want to set the business up properly. All right. So here's some things that definitely will help you also to help you reduce your commercial insurance, right? Premiums. 3 things you should have. You should have dash cam, GPS, and it's called a telematics. And what it does, it monitors a person's driving behavior in your car. Okay, so these things here, having these here things will reduce your commercial insurance, right? So those, again, the fees that Turo is charging you, you're reducing those fees because you added these things. And also it helps prevent theft. Not saying it's going to stop it, but they see that you have all this in it, it's more likely they're going to take a second thought, right? Now, granted that with Turo, they do run a soft pull on their credit through TransUnion, okay, to see what's going on with their credit and everything. But at the same time, these are things that you can do in order for you to have a successful business on Turo. And besides, not just Turo, I have a few other companies that I'm going to be sharing with you as well. Now, there's one more thing, that if you're going to have high-end luxury vehicles or classic cars or something like that on Turo, one thing you may want to consider, especially like saying that you have a Cadillac Escalade or some big luxury SUV, you don't want to be driving it around, right? Or you don't want them to just drive it around because you don't know how well they drive, right? So what you could do, possibly increase your profit margin, you can hire a driver, okay? You can hire a driver and say, hey, if you use my car, this luxury vehicle, we actually will provide you with a driver for a few hours, right? So think about it. How many people would like to be pulled up to their event where they don't have to worry about parking and stuff like that, and they have a driver that can go do errands and stuff like that while they're handling their other business? So you almost have like a private errand boy or whatever. Even though they're a driver, sometimes they're able to do other things, right? So if you're interested in hiring a driver for your high-end luxury vehicles that you have on Turo, then you want to go to driver.com, okay? And so you can hire a driver, and then, like I said, you calculate that into the price. But again, now you're selling them an experience. You're not, or leasing them an experience. You're not just leasing them a car anymore. You're leasing them an experience. Okay, and people would pay more for an experience, because especially if they have an anniversary or birthday. Look at LaMelo Ball, right? He bought this what is it, with Rolls Royce color, hooked it up and everything, and he rents it out, right, with a driver. So that car he bought, he didn't just buy it just to be flossing it. He actually is making money with that car. And I'm pretty sure he's making way more than what Turo or these other ones. He's probably making, if he's renting his car out, he's probably renting it out between $800 to $1,000 an hour, right? So, and again, his celebrity status helps him as well. But now you can understand in terms of the level of how you can turn this Turo business on its head to maximize the profits of it. All right. So let's talk about some numbers right quick. On average income for one car, I think they said people were probably doing about $545 a month. They may be doing more, they may be doing less. Here's the thing about it. A lot of people, they're going out and getting all these cars, right? And they're trying to get these higher end cars. But again, because they're not creating that experience, those cars aren't being rented. So they may have the, is it the Hyundai Palisades and the Hyundai Palisades and that other one, or whatever. But those type of cars, yes, they're big and stuff, but they're not being rented out as fast as some of these top 10 vehicles and stuff. Again, because people want something that's going to actually give them that experience, right? If they're really traveling and stuff and they're traveling with family, then they're probably renting like a minivan or something from Turo or something like that, right? But in terms of you're going to go with high-end vehicles and stuff, you're trying to actually get an experience out of that. You want that experience. You don't just want to be driving this around. You want the experience, and the best experience is having somebody else chauffeur you around, do your errands and stuff, you know, while you go enjoy that concert, go out to dinner, those type of things, right? So of course we know that with Turo, they either give you a W-9 or 1099. And again, it's so important, if you want to keep more money in your pocket, is to set the business up properly. Now, as I was telling you, for some of you guys, if you have kids, okay, here's a way that you possibly can get up to $8,000 in free money, all right? And so that way is through the child tax credit, okay? The child tax credit, okay? Now, what it is in order to get up to $8,000, this is the one that everybody said you have to ask for it. Okay, you have to actually ask for this here money here, right? And the thing about it, in order to qualify for the max, you have to be making less than $125,000. Okay. Now, if you're able to maximize and get the full $8,000, but you have to have a job and you have to be actually earning money. You can't, this isn't welfare, this isn't disability or something like that. You actually have to be earning money. And then it's form 2441. Hey guys, again, if I'm explaining this and you're starting to understand what I'm saying, would you give me a thumbs up, a comment? Let me know if you're using Turo. Have you put cars on Turo? Let me know your experience. Let me know what's going on. What do you think about it? Okay? Now, we're finna go beyond Turo. Because a lot of people think, right now, a lot of people are sold on the game of Turo. And so they may do something and Turo kicks them off, right? And they're like, man, now how am I going to bring income in? Well, here's a few companies. You still got Hire Car. Okay, and again, if you used any of these other car services to put your cars on those platforms, let me know. And they're usually using Lyft and Uber. Therefore, Lyft and Uber drivers most of the time. Okay. Now, the unfortunate thing is that they want to try to keep. They'll pay you 60%, and their thing is, well, we're paying you 60% because we're going to take that other 40%, and that's for insurance. What is it said? They said it's for insurance, 24-hour service, and it's something else. But the cool thing about it with them, well, I guess it really ain't cool because they already got it calculated in. With them is that they said, oh, you can list your car for free. Well, the thing about it, where Turo says, hey, these are the fees we charge you because you're advertising on our platform. They're saying you can do it for free, but it's not free because it's calculated into the 40% that they hold over your head, right? But again, if you come in with your own commercial insurance, now you can reduce that 40%, right? So now you're starting to keep more money in your pocket, because from what I understand, if you have your own commercial insurance, now your profitability goes anywhere from 85 to 90% versus you in between 65 to 80%, 65 to 85%, right? So that's the reason that I tell you guys, you may want to consider commercial insurance under your corporation. And again, if you need help or you're trying to understand how to properly set up your Turo business, click the link below. Now, not only is Hire Car, you have a company called Get Around, right? Now, if you guys, if you all guys are familiar with the YouTube channel Passport Heavy, right? And so he has this video on Sausalito and he's driving the Porsche and stuff. Well, he got that off of Get Around, where I think he said was renting it for like $25 an hour, but it was such a minimum thing, he ended up renting it out for multiple days. So that's the thing about it, is being able to put your car on different platforms. So when your car isn't renting out on Turo platform, you have these other platforms you can turn to be able to still make money. All right. So you also have a company called Travel Car, and you have Avail, and these here two companies, they're focused more like being parked at the airport. Okay. They're focused more on being parked at the airport and people renting cars and stuff. And with Travel Car, like if they don't rent your car, you have up to 7 days they'll leave it there and park for free. So say that you're taking a trip over to Europe or something and you either make some money or don't make some money, at least you get free parking, plus they actually wash your car. So which is pretty cool, right? But at the same time, now you know, and there's one more called the Zipcar. Now you know that you're not just locked in with Turo. Put your car on multiple platforms. Never put your, they always say never put all your eggs in one basket. So that's what you're doing when you buying all these cars under your social security number and you just putting them on Turo. Don't do that. Use these other platforms so that way you always have revenue coming in. So when one is slow, you still have money coming in to be able to continue making that car payment. But I would definitely, if I was you, I would set it up as a real business, okay? Because again, you'll have more leverage, you'll keep more money in your pocket, and you'll be able to raise more capital to invest into more cars as well as real estate. That's another thing with buying cars with equity in them. Being able to borrow the equity out of that car to do real estate investments or cryptocurrency investing. So you have so many other things that you can actually do with those cars that you're borrowing the equity in. All right. So this is Houston with three-way funding. For those of you again that's just found my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to subscribe. And for those of you that's always supporting me, As always, salute.